All right, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to another session. I hope you're all doing well. All right, today is Thursday, 22nd of January 2026. Yeah, the year has started and it's running as if time is on its way to do something very quickly. Yeah, we've started the year and it's not been long, but we are halfway through January already, more than halfway through January. So I want you to, whatever you're trying to do for the year, make sure you've started, because time doesn't wait for anybody. By the time you realize, we'll be in June. And if you had anything that you wanted to do, it'll be probably too late. So whatever you want to do, make sure you've started. That's just a word of advice. Okay, let's start with the dollar index. So dollar index, yesterday we spoke about potentially this move down being manipulation, the fact that we took out the Asian session low and then price rejected. I did make mention that it's likely going to reject and then probably go up, and during the New York session, right, it actually did and then traded through this up candle. So what I'm anticipating today is something similar to yesterday, because you can see we've traded down again towards the New York session, right? We've come back to this up candle. We also have this New York fair value gap over here, so I'm expecting higher prices for this New York session. If we trade down, I'll be expecting this gap to hold and then send price up. All right, so basically that's what I'm expecting for today. Now 1:30 we have the final GDP and then unemployment claims, so that might be the news event that they probably might use to make this move happen. So that is basically my expectation. That means euro, I think yesterday we discussed this as well. I was in favor to the downside, even though the narrative based on at the time did show maybe a bullish intention. Now, similar to the dollar index, we have this last down candle and then we have the fair value gap over here. Now, because of the news event time of the day, we're gonna highlight this one in anticipation that when the news comes out, they're gonna send price down. Okay, so that is basically what I'm expecting. Now, I could be wrong, and then they will send price up if, but yeah, I'm just going with the flow, and I'm looking for order flow right now to sustain and send price back down. Because if you look at Monday opening and then Tuesday, Monday went up, Tuesday went up, and then we rejected Tuesday afternoon. Based on that Tuesday after rejection, causes price to potentially make this a high of the week, potentially a high of the week, and then yeah, we see what's gonna happen next. British pound opposite, I think, to what euro is doing. Euro made a new high, but British pound is still struggling because of euro pound. Now we'll go to euro pound in a second, but I don't like British pound. One, because we have equal high over here, this high and that high. So one reason I don't like it. And then other reason, I don't have any fair value gap in here. So that makes it another reason why I don't like the British pound. Maybe if we leave a fair value gap, probably, then I'll be interested. On the 15 minutes, it does have one, but I like 1 hour. Okay, so personally, this is not my cup of tea. Now, if you do trade the lower time frame, definitely that one looked good because it took out this high breakdown, the breaker pulled back, and then you're seeing price going down. So if you're on the lower time frame, then yes, 15 minutes, we might be targeting this low here, and then I think that looks too clean, so they might take that one, those equal lows. But I like euro because there is more room to the downside on euro. Okay, euro run up too quickly, so I like the euro. Let me just right there, and then here I'm just refining the levels for precision. Okay, so that is that for the British pound. Now euro pound, yesterday I was anticipating them to pull back and go back up into this level, 0.87493. You can see price did not do that. It actually went down, and it did for a reason. I think it just wanted to run people out before continue going up. So this morning did something amazing, took out the previous day's low. Now on the daily, it did make sense because it created a fair value gap, so we dipped into the gap, and then that's what happened after dipping into the gap. So I think price has created a nice auto block on the H4, or is creating a nice auto block on the H4. Hence I would like to see price continue going up. Okay, so let's see if we can get a continuation to the upside on the euro pound to the 0.87497 level. That is our draw on liquidity. This whole move to the downside, I would like to see it as manipulation, and then we run up. Gold, right? So yesterday I did make mention to be careful buying because it's extremely high, and you can see why, because price has been going up for a long time. So at the beginning of the week, if price goes up like that, you need to be extremely careful, because the high of the week can form anytime when price goes up like that. Okay, give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, I apologize. I was waiting for something, and yeah, it did come out. Anyway, we have about 8 minutes. I want us to observe the I want us to observe the final GDP to see how the news is gonna. That's why I'm stretching the session. If not, I would have done quickly and then we'll be done. Okay, so bear with me. So gold, I don't think you should be engaging right now. Just leave it for now. Okay, on the H4 we did create this down candle prior to the move up, but I still don't trust it. Maybe if it did form during the New York session, right, then that would have been nice, but this was during the Asian session, so I don't trust it. Now during the New York session, if we create this down candle and then there's a fair value gap with it, then definitely you can use it, because what I'm seeing is maybe an inside candle, then a gap forming, coming back to that gap to continue, something like this. Okay, so that is why I'm urging you not to engage now. Just be patient, let price do what it wants to do. Okay, now again, it's entirely up to you. If you want to drop down to the lower time frame and play with the buying and selling pattern, for example this one here, if you want to drop into the lower time frame and play with that, that's fine. But based on the higher time frame, no, just sit and wait. Okay, because I don't see anything happening for the high time frame continuation to the upside. So it's either you wait for the 1 hour to create a nice auto block with a fair value gap in New York session, then you engage with that, or you do nothing. Okay. Crude oil, yesterday I was anticipating them to go up during the New York session. It did, but it couldn't sustain, and then this morning they've ramped it down. But again, I'm still expecting higher prices based on the seasonal move that happens every year. So I think price did not come for the 618 level. Now it's not too late, it can come before going up there. So let's see this New York session. If New York create an auto block, that would be awesome. Okay, I want them to create an auto block on the H4 or even on the H1. Okay, something like this during the New York session, either H1 or H4, and then we can use that for a continuation to the upside. So maybe 1 hour 34 minutes this candle stays as it is, then the next H4 candle, I want to see one big up candle like that. Okay, so patience, let's see if that's gonna happen. Yes, yesterday I was anticipating a retracement to here and then go down to attack the previous month low, but that didn't happen. They actually became a breaker, which, if you understand, or if you understood, then you could have used it for a potential buy, maybe the time of the day. But this is the PM session. Okay, this is the AM session, PM session. We pulled back into that breaker and then went up. It also took out the previous day's low with that big run up. Now, this is a pattern that if you can master, that probably could be all that you need for your entire trading. They move down with the aggressive move up. Okay, if you study that pattern, that could be all that you need for your entire trading career. Very simplified, requires patience, obviously, because it doesn't form every day. It forms when it wants to form. So yesterday was a nice one. We broke after taking our previous day's low. So previous day's low taken, and you can use it on all time frames. Okay, that's what I use, but I use it from the higher time frame to create the narrative, and then I follow it through with the lower time frame. So even with the dollar index, it's the same thing, right? We took our previous week low rejection, and then price went up. Okay, now if I go to the monthly, you see the same thing, which is what would lead me to, or what led me to give you what I was expecting yesterday. So if you look at here, we took out the previous month high, and then we broke down. Okay, so that's why I was expecting them to go here. So in my opinion, this is just a pullback. We will come back down. Where we are now, that is the breaker. So maybe this New York session, something will happen over there. In case I'm wrong, then it will be the opposite. This move down, because that's all they're doing. Price is doing this constantly every day. So if you are aware of it, then you can always be using it. So this app can know prior to this move down, taking out this low and that low. In case I'm wrong, that's what they're doing. And then you switch and then you buy to go up. All you need to do is to be flexible. Don't be so rigid. That's the word. Don't be rigid with price. Like if you make up a decision you don't want to switch, you will struggle if you do that. Okay, so just flow with price. Okay, so maybe something will happen in here. We will see during this New York session, because that's a pullback to the breaker. Okay, so before we move on to the other pairs, we've got like 20 seconds for the final GDP and unemployment claims. So let's observe that, and then we'll come back in the next maybe 2-3 minutes after the news. I'll see you. Okay, all right, let's come back. Obviously that news wasn't volatile enough. It didn't do much, but I think we still have the entire New York session between 2, 3, and 4, and 5 sometimes. So look out for that to happen, right? I'm expecting higher prices. Now, pay attention to this level here. $98. Let me refine it. Let me go to the lower time frame and refine it. Okay, so 98.52 roughly, or let's say 98.50, because that is close to a psychological figure. 98.50. If we close below that, then I think they might trade down. Okay, if we close below 98.50, then they might go down. So you can use that as a reference point where price is gonna stay and then continue going up. If we trade through that, then price is gonna go down. Okay, so that is that for and then you can do the opposite for euro as well. Okay, so let's continue to the dollar yen. So dollar yen, we couldn't come into that OTE level. As it stands, maybe a close today will give me more reasons to go long. Oh, not that one, right? Today, if we close bullish today, then maybe I'll be interested in going long tomorrow. But tomorrow will be Friday, so that will cap the week for me on this pair. So we're just using the fair value gap to continue going up, which is basically similar to what dollar index did. It took our previous week low, rejected, and then is going back up. But the movement doesn't have enough strength behind it, so that is why I'm not actually engaging with it. But a close today above previous day's high will be good, and then that will give us more conviction to look for a buy to continue going up. All right, so let's see what is going to happen by the end of today. Australian dollar, we can see we've traded through the gap aggressively. What I wanted to see yesterday, the closure, it did happen, but the news event, the unemployment on Australian dollar did not bring it down. It actually shot it up. I observed it. I was watching to see if they can bring. So essentially what I was looking for is using this down candle as the anticipating this as a breaker, so we will start coming back down with potentially dollar going up, but they've ramped it up. Now in terms of up here, we have few levels that price can reach and do something. Now why am I looking so much at that level is because we have this weekly auto block sitting right here. Okay, so that weekly auto block, same thing, right? So let me show you why I'm interested in. So we ran above this high, that high, and then price went down aggressively. So this being the breaker, price came there and gave a reaction. So the fair value gap was next, nothing happened. Now we are trading at the order block, okay, and then inside that order block is where the levels that I'm mapping is, okay. So if I remove that, the fair value gap is, sorry, the last down candle prior to the move up is here, and then the fair value gap is there. So with the entire week going up without any manipulation to the downside, literally from the get-go, Monday, Sunday evening, that is where we opened, and then we've just gone up. Today, New York session can cause a reversal. All right, so I'm not expecting a continuation to the upside, but rather some form of a potential rejection. Now let me clean up all this for now. We can highlight this whole area, this area, that area, and that one. So that's 3 or 4 accumulation going on. So first 1, 2, 3. So that could be it, and then maybe a rejection to come back down where we are. So watch that down candle on the daily, this one here, that one. It starts from this candle's low to the opening. Watch that, and then the gap 0.68526, and then 0.6824 in there. So I'll start from the wick. Okay, so that is that for the Australian dollar. Now I was watching Euro Aussie, and as I was saying the last time, they probably want to send this one down to attack this low and that low, right? And that is what they did. That is what they were holding the Australian dollar from going down, whilst Euro and the British pound went down. They were holding the Australian dollar, is because they wanted to send this pair actually down. You can see how they've ramped it down. Now on the monthly chart, there is a fair value gap over here that price might reach for, and once they take it out, price can give a pullback, because we've been going down for quite a few times on the weekly chart. So a pullback would be imminent. I don't know, maybe it could start from here, okay? But I'm not asking you to go and trade. If you want to trade it, that's fine, that's entirely up to you. It could go up because of this last down candle, this last up candle here. You can place stop loss and then see how far up it can go. Just play with it. All right, okay, let's go on to the cryptocurrencies. So with the crypto, we've created a gap with yesterday's price action, so continuation to the downside is what we're looking for. So not a lot to say about the cryptos, because it's yet to get to our targets. On Solana, I think previous day's high, and run above it, and then the continuation. So back to Bitcoin, in here, continuation to the downside, 80,000. Let's take it one at a time. So let's go for 83, 846.15, then 80,050, 524. This one is easy. I think it's very close, so they'll go for it. 262.41. If we pull back in there, continuation, you can now. This is what I was anticipating on Australian dollar. So you can see this last down candle, right? This one, and then they run up into something. This down candle. So when you see that, you begin to think opposite, right? Don't think, okay, this is going up, because you need to understand the narrative. So the narrative was showing that, okay, we are going up, but is it up or they're actually selling into it? That's how you begin to map it. So that is what I was saying, that this down candle with that big run up, this big run up here is manipulation to, make people think it's going up, so they will buy, and then it goes down. Okay, that's what I was anticipating on the Australian dollar here on the daily. So down candle, run up above the high into the gap, then the rejection, but it seems they're printing one more. Now usually if it goes beyond 3, the last one is it can reject on the last one, and then it will come back down. So maximum 4, usually it's 3, between 1 and 3, maximum 4. If the 4th one does not reject, and then the 5th one goes down, then this is something else happening, then it's not a sell. Okay, all right, so back to cryptos. Everywhere you see that pattern, you see it will have the same thing. All right, so lower prices, Solana, same thing, lower prices, 116.82. Ripple, not a friend, not a fan. Hype, continuation. Hype is a good one. I did give you the extension 1.68 or 0.618 extension here. If you project this to the downside, that's the next target. We've taken out the previous day's high, that fair value gap. That's distribution happening, so selling to continue going down. Chachki, I keep mentioning, as long as the swing low on the monthly is there, I'm not bearish on that. So this will always be a pullback. I'll be expecting them to go up. Watch this up candle here, 0. So many zeros, 2493. That level, you're watching that. Okay, and then finally the AI16Z it didn't do much, but I think it's trying to give a small blip in here. Okay, so again, keep an eye on it. Sooner or later it will surprise a lot of people. Okay, so if you are interested, this is the lowest that it can go. Became very close to like completely 0. So this is the cheapest that you can get to. Right, so if you want, this is a buying opportunity, and then holding forever, maybe holding till 2030. Right, don't buy it and then expect it to go up today or tomorrow. Just hold it till 2030, and then 2030 you come back and thank me later. All right, so that is that. Let's go back to the currencies. I think let's quickly check the dollar index and then we close for today. Okay, so with the dollar index, you can see it's still playing around. So sit tight, wait. You can see that same pattern emerging here, so that app can know. Maybe one day I'll do a whole session on that, just exploring the manipulation pattern, which is fractal, and that's all you need, right? So this 15 minutes candle run down, it didn't touch the fair value gap, so okay, I'll leave it, and then I'll talk about it in a full session, because time is already gone. So let's end here, and then we'll talk about that in our next session, maybe, or whenever I feel like it. Then we dive more into it. Okay, so have a wonderful day. I'll see you same time tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. The week is done. Time is running like no one's business. But yeah, tomorrow is Friday. I'll see you same time, and then we go through price. Take care. Have fun.